welcome back to my channel with another recipe. Today I'm going to make a pepperoni roll. Today I'm making the dough in my mixture. You don't have to use a mixture for this, you can just make the dough by your hand. To start with, I'm adding yeast and sugar into warm water and giving it a mix until sugar dissolves, and let it sit aside for about 5 minutes. Now add salt to the flour and give it a mix. In this video I'm actually using instant yeast, which you don't have to put it in the water. You can just add to flour and add the water later on. But I like adding the yeast to the water to see whether it's active. I'm gradually adding the water to the flour mixture until it well combines. After the water is added, knead the dough for about a few minutes. This dough is going to be towards a little bit of wet side, so if you're touching the dough, make sure that you oil your hands a little bit so it doesn't stick to your fingers or hand. Once you're done kneading the dough, you have to proof the dough for about 2 hours until it doubles in size. Take the dough out of the bowl and add a little bit of oil and apply the oil around the surface of the bowl. So when you proof the dough and the dough expands, it won't stick to the sides. Once the dough is ready to proof, I'm going to cover the bowl and keep it in a warm, dry place. Once the dough is double in size and ready to use, you can transfer the dough to a floured workbench. This is going to be a sticky dough, so make sure you flour the dough a little bit and flour your hands before you touch the dough since it's sticky. But have enough flour aside to use as needed. Punch the dough down and transfer it to the floured countertop. Then I'm going to use a rolling pin and stretch it out to a rectangular shape. You don't have to roll this down to be this thin. I'm making it quite thin, so the bread layers can be thinner. But you can reduce the size of the rectangular I'm making, so the layers will be a little thicker. Here I'm adding some Italian seasoning. You can add a little bit of salt and pepper if you like. After adding the seasoning, I'm going to roll it out a little bit so the seasoning would stick to the dough. After adding the seasoning, I'm going to layer the pepperoni and cheese. And I'm going to start with the pepperoni. I'm going to layer them in a line overlapping each other, and at the same time make sure you keep a little bit of dough left in between these lines, so when you roll the dough will contact the middle of the other dough and it will stick together. After adding the pepperoni, I'm adding the cheese. I'm going to leave a little bit of space in between each cheese slices, and I'm not adding cheese onto the very top, so when you bake it, it won't ooze out. After rolling the dough, make sure you pinch the dough to secure it properly and also fold both ends. When the roll is made, transfer the roll into a baking sheet. Using a sharp knife, apply a little bit of oil so it won't stick to the dough. Using the knife, score the bread just like this. Once it's ready to bake, Bake the roll for about 20 minutes until it's done. When it's done, take it out of the oven and leave it for about 5 minutes to rest, and then you can enjoy. I hope you all will enjoy this recipe. As always, I have listed all the ingredients in the description box just below the video. Until the next time!